Kode Jalamala Shivo Shuka Narada Preme Gada Gada Pakati Vinoda Deki Gaurara Sampada Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hari Bo. Everyone please chant loudly. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Dancing Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Jai Gora Hari Bo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotra Sutta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Vishnu Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Astotra Sutta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की इस्कॉन शिकागो नु सेव कुंज धाम की गंगा माई मुनमाई की जय तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the Simple Devotee. All glories to the Simple Devotees. All glories to the Simple Devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gaur.
Namaste Nara Samaya Prahlada Dada Hina Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha नितो नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा हितो यतो यतो यमितो यतो नरसिंहा बाहे नरसिंहा हृदय नरसिंहा बाहे नरसिंहा मदिं शरणं प्रपद्ये तव कर कमलवरे नाथा अद्भुत श्रीरामलता हिरण्यकशिपु केशव सीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवदीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल नरसिम्हा भगवान की प्रहलाद महाराज की निताय गौर ब्रह्मानंदे।
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, we welcome you all to Sri Sri Kishore Kishore Temple. Thank you all for joining us today for the Sunday Feast program. Before we start our program, is there anybody who has come the first time? First timers, please. Okay, you can raise your hand. We have a small gift for you. This kids will give you the gift, please. First timers, any first timers? All right. So I have a few announcements before we start our program. So you all know in the next 2 days this year is going to end, and as everybody celebrates the new year by staying up late and not sleeping and enjoying. So it is said that what you do in the first year, that's what you do in the whole year. That's why people do that. But we do things a little different here because this is Krishna's house. We ask you to sleep nicely on the 31st and come for the whole day kirtan that we have from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that the entire year will be Krishna conscious. So we invite you all to please join us on the 1st of January, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We'll have 12-hour kirtan here. We will be providing you with lunch and dinner, so no cooking at home. So please come and let your family and friends also know about this. As you all know, this is December month of marathon, book marathon for all of this month. We are trying to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books to everybody. We have a target of 8,000 Bhagavad Gitas for this temple. Madhu Mangal Prabhu is our leader. He's going to talk more about it. He is going to give the Sunday feast talk today. So we welcome him with a big and loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol! And he's going to be speaking here. So please, I would request everybody to come a little closer, switch off your phones. If you have little kids who are making some noise here, you can take them to the basement. We have Sunday school going on there. Speaking of Sunday school, we also have a new opportunity in the new year. We are going to start online Sunday school, which is going to be online for ages 8 to 30. If you need more information, please come and see me. So we'll have Madhumangal Prabhu with the class here. And I would request you to come a little closer, please. A little closer. Okay, before I start, I would like to offer some prayers. Now I can see. Om Jnana Timrandasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshikarine Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangham langayate girim Yat kripatamham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. So thank you all for being here. Just 2 more days for the end of the year 2024. So nice that you could be here on a very overcast day. It's raining out. Maybe it's getting lighter now, but
And it's one of those classic Chicago cold wintry days. So appreciate you all for being here with us this evening. It's a nice opportunity to come together and glorify the Lord at least once a week through this Sunday Feast program. And it's also a nice opportunity to come together to understand what is the goal of life, the purpose of life, at least once a week, because come Monday, maybe we are all busy with work and everything. So before I start my presentation, I want to kind of share a small anecdotal story. Uh, the story goes something like this. There is a king, and one time he makes an announcement within his kingdom saying, whoever brings nice set of diamonds for my child, he has a daughter who likes to play with many things, but he wants to especially give her as a gift a set of diamonds. So he makes an announcement that whoever in the whole of kingdom bring me a set of diamonds, and if I like them, I will give them a reward. So there are a bunch of jewelers in that kingdom. They're all, you know, they all have many pearls, diamonds, jewels, and very valuable ornaments that they have. So they all started, packing their stuff, and then so that they could put on an exhibition in front of the daughter of the king, and whichever she selects, they will be rewarded. So again, there is no scarcity for these kind of things. So there are plenty of options to choose. And the day came, everything was put on a show, and the princess selected a set of diamonds, and the king gave the person, the jeweler, a reward. When everybody went back to the village, all the other jewelers that did not get their sets of jewelry selected asked this person, what's your secret? How come you won? Or how come yours selected? Because we also have very valuable diamonds and very precious stones and all kinds of jewels that are very um, you know beautiful. So this person said that, how did you all select, or how did you all take your jewelry? And they said that, oh, we selected our best available and then put them on the plate. So he said, okay, that's where you did. I did something differently. What I did was I mixed my precious stones with something that are not so precious, so that in the middle of other precious stones, these kind of things stood out. So it was easy for the princess to select these precious stones out of the other ordinarily looking things, and then she felt these are beautiful and she selected. So, why am I narrating this story, my dear Prabhus, Matajis, is every Sunday you're blessed with some very exalted speakers that speak very nicely, and occasionally you get to hear from me, people like me, like that bad stone in that, so that you can appreciate more. When next Sunday comes, the speaker is sitting here, you will have like, we cannot wait to hear from this person. So I hope you will bless me with your kindness so that I can speak a few words, because otherwise I'm that worthless stone, both internally and externally also, that cannot make any value, but or that cannot bring any value. But I hope your next 40 minutes or so of time is spent in something worthwhile. So with that, we're going to jump into the conversation of today. Uh, the topic I have selected is about this book called Timeless Classic. Uh, but it has a tagline also, because I like to keep my titles interesting. In any case, Before I jump onto the actual topic, I'm showing this picture. This is a picture of our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada sitting with few of his disciples in early 1967, 66, around that time. So I'm going to read a few things from here. Please, if you can follow on the wall, hopefully you can read it along or at least read it inside. Seeing him from a distance, a tiny figure walking Manhattan streets and avenues among many other tiny figures, a foreigner whose visa had almost run out, we come upon only the external appearance of Srila Prabhupada. These days of struggle were real enough and very difficult, but his transcendental consciousness was always predominant. He was not living in Manhattan consciousness, but was absorbed in dependence upon Krishna, just as when the Jaladuta he had suffered his heart attacks, his reading of Chaitanya Charitamrita had supplied him the nectarine of life. He had already succeeded. Certainly, he wanted to provide Radha and Krishna a temple in New York, but his success was that he was remembering Krishna even in New York City in the winter of 1965 66, whether the world recognized him or not. Not a day went by when he did not work on Krishna's book, Srimad Bhagavatam. And not a day went by when he did not offer food to Krishna and speak on Krishna's philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, for one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost to him, and he is never lost to me. And Krishna assures his pure devotees that my devotee will never be vanquished. There was never any doubt about this for Prabhupada. The only question was whether Americans would take notice of the pure devotee in their midst. So, how many of you are familiar or at least have heard of this particular paragraph or this particular instance? Can you please raise your hand if you have at least heard of this? This is taken directly from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Okay, I see few hands raised. Okay, few more. So, this is the founder Acharya, or our preeminent teacher of this movement, Hare Krishna movement or the ISKCON, and his biography. And it is taken from his biography. Several years ago, there was a survey done. Uh, Many times people survey about 30 under 30. Does anyone know what is 30 under 30 mean? No one? I am just boring already. 30 under 30 is kind of like an award given to 30 people that are under 30 years that have excelled in their field. And people also give 40 under 40. You know, I have not heard of yet 50 under 50. Maybe it's too old. Anyway, those who have excelled and accomplished something, and then they recognize these people. But somebody actually did a survey and they said that who has done something that they have excelled in their life after the age of 60? Because usually after the age of 60, what happens? People take retirement. They draw their pension if they can get, then they try to retire to something. But here is this, you know, tiny figure walking on Manhattan streets. This was, by this time, he was almost 65 years old. So it's not, I'm sorry, 70 years old, I should say. Uh, it's not, you know, that he has a generational wealth or something that he was famous for. He just he has wealth, but it's a different type of wealth. He just relied on his spiritual master, his teacher's words, and then he wanted to start this movement in the Western world. So he came to the America, and in the early days, again back in 1965-66, this description when he didn't have much money or any money, he didn't have any followers, he barely knew anybody in the America, so he just did everything. And then this survey recognized him. That lo and behold, within 11 years, he visited almost every country in the world 11 times, and then established more than 108 temples and had more than 5,000 disciples at that time. Now it's many more. So the point is that this is his biography, how he started from nothing and then was able to establish movement. It's worldwide now. Here is another paragraph of a letter from one of his supporters in the early days. I have come here, I'm sorry, to hear from him to her. I have come here in this old age neither for sightseeing nor for any personal interest. It is for the interest of the entire humanity that I am trying to implement the science of Krishna, which will actually make them happy. So it is the duty of every devotee of Lord Krishna to help me by all means. And here he is in the snowstorm in New York in his traditional attire as a sannyasi. Uh, not much support. There is actually a chapter dedicated in that book that says, "We cannot help you." The chapter title is "We Cannot Help You." He wrote for support from various people, including the then Prime Minister of India, the President of India, and so many other figures. The answer he got back is, "We cannot help you." So that's kind of like a prelogue. Try to keep that in the mind for the rest of the 30, 35 minutes. So, what is the timeless classic? It is this Bhagavad Gita. And how many of you are perhaps right now going any kind of testing times or difficult times? Nobody? Nobody is going through any, you're going through some difficulty? Thanks for the honesty. You are going through something. I have to raise both of my hands, and then some others. So, even if you are not going through difficult times or testing times, this class is for you so that you could help others. So, please pay attention. All right, so now we are going to play some game. This is a copy. They say that imitation is the best form of flattery. So I try to copy, but the idea is that we all have problems, and the problem's definition may be varying, but the solution is presented in this book, Bhagavad Gita. So as I'm trying to go through this, those of you that have already thought about something and raised your hand to say that, yes, I have a problem, or those of you that have not said they have a problem, hopefully you can see all this on the screen here. Uh, do any of you think of anything else that is not listed here as a problem or a challenge? Again, not so much. Sorry? Visa. Green card and H1B visa. That is a problem. And who knows what will happen after the 20th. Any other problems other than green card and H1B visa? Okay. Can you think of any other problem that is not listed on the screen and you want to share? What is that problem? What is that difficulty in life, challenge in life? Is there something perhaps that's not covered here? I'm sure there are. It's not that everything is covered here. But these are selected just to give a glimpse. So now I'm going to need some volunteers throughout the rest of my presentation. Those of you that have said they have a problem or have not said they have a problem, select one and we'll go to that one. Please, I do need some participation. Uncontrolled mind. All right. Can you share a little bit? Okay. All right. Hopefully, this will help you to solve your problem going into the new year. Control the mind. उद्धरेद आत्मनात्मानम् आत्मानम् अवसादयेत् आत्मैव हि आत्मनो बन्धुर् आत्मैव रिपुरात्मनः बन्धुरात्मनस्तस्य येनात्मैवात्मना जितः अनात्मनस्तु शत्रुत्वे वर्तेतात्मैव शत्रुवत् यतो 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 निश्चलति मनश्चञ्चलमस्थिरं ततोस्ततो नियमैताद् आत्मनेव वशं नयेत् श्रीभगवानुवाच असंशयं महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहं चलम् अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते. So these are all coincidentally from the chapter 6 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So what does this mean? One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. For him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends, but for one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. And ultimately, Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and detachment. So, 10 o'clock, running out of time. Uh, and the problem of mind is not new to us, the Kali Yuga people, but it is apparently even true for a Dwapar Yuga Vasi, like Arjuna in the previous millennium. And he asked question, and the answer are these given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. So the idea is that while yes, it is very difficult to control the mind, uh, practice. Practice makes man perfect or woman perfect. The by practice, it becomes a habit and it becomes the second nature. So easier said than done because just as I'm sitting here, my mind may be somewhere else. It's the most fickle thing and flickering thing also. So, uh, but we should not give up. Just as Prabhupada did not give up. Uh, I'm going to touch back upon that point later. So we go back to the drawing board. The technology allows. Yes, it did. All right. Who wants to go next, please? Sorry. Confusion. All right. That's me. Okay. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava pruchami tvam dharma sammudha cheta yachre yasha nishchitam bruhitan me sishyaste ham sadhiman tvam prapannam व्यामिश्रेणेव वाक्येन बुद्धिं मोहयिषावमे तदेकं वद निश्चित्य येन श्रेयोऽहम् आप्नुयाम् ईश्वरः सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति भ्रामयन् सर्वभूतानि यन्त्ररूढानि मायया. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. My intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be most beneficial for me. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderings of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. So, few points that we can draw from this set of verses from Bhagavad Gita is, again, the first solution to any problem is what? Recognition. Recognize that we have a problem, recognize that we have some imperfection, recognize that we have a difficulty. And uh, there is a teacher that said that in math, understanding the problem is half the solution. When you understand what is being asked, you are already there, half of the solution is already made. So similar to that, if we have understood what is wrong with us, we can hopefully fix. And this is, one of those things, confusion. Somebody may not even have that honesty, that they may, I am the best, I'm the smartest. The reason that I'm sitting here and giving a class is I have some special qualities. Whatever they may feel, but the reason, the early way we can accept that we are, in such difficult situations, we can seek out help. And here is what Arjuna is doing. When confused, what did Arjuna do? He surrendered. He didn't want to rely on his own abilities anymore, which he did. For about 20 or so verses, he gave reason after reason that why he should not fight. Because it's violence. Come on. Why are you asking me to kill someone? It's blood. It's lives of my own brothers, cousins. So after all that, he said, "Okay, I'm done now. My logic, my morality, or my moral principles, or whatever ethics that I know, are all trumped. So I'm surrendering unto you." And then once he did that, then there is an opportunity for him to receive the guidance. Until that, it is difficult. Until we accept our own fallacies and surrender unto somebody who knows better than us. One of the reasons why we come here is for the same thing. When we have prasadam upstairs at 6:30 afterwards, we have opportunity to engage with each other in some conversations. But then asking what happens after January 20th, asking some of these questions. I have some difficulty. Can you help me? So, and then also recognizing that again, it is Arjuna. After all, it's Arjuna, and who are we? Nothing. So we can be confused. We have that, flexibility or allowance to be confused. And so whenever we are confused, we should know that the Supreme Lord has also provided a Chaitya Guru internally and also an external Guru. So reaching out to Guru, which, as I said, one of those examples is different types of gurus. You don't have to have the actual guru that initiated you all the time, but there are opportunities to get guidance from different types of Siksha gurus or other even Vaishnavas, and checking with them that, okay, I have this inspiration in my heart, but I'm confused. Is it valid? It makes sense to check with them something like that. And there are plenty of devotees like that. Oops. And this is where I made. Okay. Uh, Technology, forgive me. Goes back to the first one. Sorry. Okay. Who wants to go next? Sorry about that. Depression. Who asked that? Please. Okay. Thank you. I I'm just wanting to make a connection, that's all, so that I can give you the response. And by the way, I'm depressed also. क्लैब्यम्यास्मा गमपार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्वक्तोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप मात्रा स्पर्शस्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखद आगमापायिनो अनित्यास् तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत बाह्यस्पर्शे सशक्तात्मा विन्दति आत्मनि यत् सुखं स ब्रह्म योग युक्तात्मा सुखम अक्षयमश्नुते. O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weaknesses of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. O son of Kunti, the now permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course are all like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception, O sign of Bharata, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. And in the fifth chapter, such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. So, one of the beautiful aspects of Krishna consciousness is relationships. And the relationship, the primary relationship is every soul's relationship with Krishna. And similarly, somebody said that it is our vertical relationship with God or Krishna. What is Krishna consciousness means? It is our vertical relationship with Krishna and the horizontal relationships with each and every part and parcel of Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. So when we are having such relationships, whether somebody is in anxiety or depression or any kind of challenge, it is easy to overcome those. This is coming from me as a personal note. About 15 years ago or so, when I was still a student, I did have some issues with depression and anxiety. And if it is not for those devotees who are again the part and parcels of Krishna, who have guided me with these kind of things, it's not easy to overcome on my own, or it wasn't easy to overcome on my own. I did go to a doctor. I did go to get some prescription or medicines, whatever. Though those were only so much useful. When there is something, struggle that is happening internally, both with mind and heart, and the conflict and the anxiety that arises, the medicines can only do so much. They may subside the effect of how the mind feels. But having a devotee that can put a shoulder on you, an arm around your shoulder, and say that I'm here for you, and that is Krishna also. And he is saying here through these verses to all of us, that is the mode to take this Bhagavad Gita. That he is giving me, he's speaking with me. Yes, he spoke to Arjuna 5,000 years ago, no doubt. But now he is again speaking, when I open this book, he's again speaking with me through these verses. Because he wants to help us. He wants to help us whatever challenge we are going through. Not just, these things that I showed on the screen. Any challenge, including this. There are several aspects of this, including tolerance. Just like tolerance of this cold weather. We tolerate. Some people move out of Chicago. Yeah, that's an option. But not everybody can do. We have a ball and chain. Our families are here. Our schools are here. So what do? Our job is here. We tolerate the 4 or 5 months that is not so pleasure to live in Chicago. Not that the rest of the time it may be better, but when it is great also, when there is everything is going nice also, we have to tolerate. But that is the beginning. Why do we tolerate anything? My child has a, for the last few days, cold and cough and everything. And his mother, my wife, has been sick even before him. And her sickness is little, extreme. Uh, but when he fell sick, she doesn't discriminate, or like not just tolerating her own sickness, she does even more to help the child who is not yet able to take care of themselves. And the root of that is love. All our mothers and our parents have done that for us. Why? They don't just tolerate that, okay, you have cold, or they don't simply tell us also that, oh, you have cold, just tolerate it. they try to go above and beyond to help us. That's the strength with which we can overcome the challenge. And that's what Krishna is doing for all of us. He is there for us, and he wants us to feel his presence through his devotees. And he wants us to feel his presence through his words. He wants us to feel his presence through his service. When we are engaged in his service, like this person that is talking about, this 5th chapter, 21st verse, a liberated person is not attracted anymore to the material senses pleasure, but is always in trance. We have a way to go, no doubt. But such people who are pure devotees, they have overcome such challenges, and now they are not discriminating between this is happy occasion, this is not so happy occasion. They're able to do whatever it is. Even you put me in, like the case of Chitraketu, who was cursed to become a demon. And he says, whether I'm in hell or heaven, I don't care. As in, I'm not worried. As long as I have this service of Vishnu or Krishna, I'm fine. Even if I'm in hell, that's okay. Even if I'm in Chicago, that's okay. As long as we have Kishore Kishori, their service. Okay. All right. This is before I jump. Anyone else wants to pick one? Fear. Okay. I'm trying to look for the fear. Okay. We discussed that already. Thank you. I'll give you a next opportunity so you can ask something else. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashrita bhavo jnana tapasa bhuta madbhava magata Sanjaya uvacha iti arjunam vasudevasthathokpa swakam rupam darshayan asabhuya asvasayan asacha bhuitam enam bhutva punah saumya vapur mahatma pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha ya vetti buddhi sa partha sattviki. What does all this mean about fear? Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me. Many, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. So, again, Arjuna himself is feared or afraid. In Bhagavatam, there is a nice verse which says, Bhayam dveshtiya abhiniveshatasya. You are familiar with that verse? Uh, it's basically saying that fear is because of investing our consciousness in something that is not Sat. What is not Sat? Asat, the temporary, the material existence. So Arjuna has that mentality, had briefly because of Krishna's intervention, and his his fear is because various reasons. One of those is attachment, the root of the fear. So Krishna is clarifying, or Krishna is encouraging him to give up that fear in the fourth chapter. How is he saying that it's possible? It's possible if we have refuge in Krishna, if we have shelter in Krishna. And again, the same thing can be said for any other difficulty. Once we have Krishna's shelter, we can overcome anything. Fear is one of them also. But without shelter in Krishna, if our shelter is plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan D, plan E, uh, we can have, like for example, if it was raining outside, we have to have an umbrella so that we don't get wet. So that kind of thing, we don't say simply that I am a devotee of Krishna, I chanted my 16 rounds, I did my service, let me go out, and then the rain should not make me soaking wet. We don't say that. We don't do that. Rain will do its thing, and we have to do our own thing, along with chanting Krishna's holy names. So the idea is that we don't blindly, or we don't try to overcome something in the name of devotional service prematurely. It comes in by, like, you know, Indradumna Swami Maharaj. In one of his things, he shared that in his early age, only one instruction that Prabhupada gave that changed or transformed his life, that he applies even now also. What is it? Be bold and preach Krishna consciousness. What kind of boldness we see from here? I see Mataji and Prabhuji, so they know better. This going to Poland, doing some yatra, some in all these countries are Catholics and very rigid, orthodox. Not like here, we are in Chicago. We do see some opposition from time to time. We go for Harinam and then some people heckle or something. That's, oh my God, I cannot do any more Harinam again. But this is real hardcore, hostility. What kind of bold, you know, courage he has. And that is obviously what I'm trying to say is that he's mature, and we may not be at that stage in our Krishna consciousness, but we have hope. When the overcoming fear can happen when we follow the instruction of Guru and Krishna. And Guru and Krishna's instruction is to take us on the other side. Be bold, Prabhupada said, and preach Krishna consciousness. How can you be bold? Okay. Now it's your turn. Which select anything else other than uncontrolled mind. We covered it, please. You want to select something else? Feeling lonely. Okay. Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati bahirantascha bhutanam acharam charameva cha sukham sukshatmat tad avigyayam durastham chantike chatat समोहम सर्वभूतेषु न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहं ज्योतिषामपि तज्ज्योतिस्तामसा परमुच्यते ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं ज्ञानगम्यं हृदि सर्वस्वव्यवस्थितम्. Can somebody tell me, is it 611 or 617? 17? Feeling lonely. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. The supreme truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and the non moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far, far away, he is also near to all. He is the source of light in all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. His knowledge, he is the object of knowledge and he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. So, hopefully, some of these verses make sense to you. Uh, one of the points that's driven constantly is that we are never alone. Krishna is right with us in our heart. Um, Paramatma, we are Atma, the individual soul, and Paramatma is the super soul. And he is always accompanying us. That's one way. And especially for those and that are wondering, like, I'm feeling lonely, the loneliness could be overcome once we start turning our attention towards Krishna. And because although he is always there, if our attention is somewhere else, we are not seeing. And then by the nature of the material existence, it's easy to feel the challenge in our lives. Uh, but how do we see Krishna? That's the real challenge. When something really bad is happening, when something really challenging we are going through, how can we see that? Oh, how is God allowing? Or one of the main questions many people ask is why? Why is God allowing this thing to happen? So somehow we have to turn our attention to see from the scriptures eyes. It's called the Shastra Chakshu, the eyes of, or the lenses of the Shastra. Because through the Shastra, we can cut the attachments, we can cut the misconceptions, we can cut the ignorance. So, and Krishna says that he is there every time with us, and if you are feeling not the same, that means we are not fully in knowledge. So knowledge can awaken that understanding to see. And what is the process of attaining that knowledge? That's a different question. Okay, this will be the last one because of time. So if someone wants to pick one thing, peace. All right. नास्ति बुद्धिरवयुक्तस्य न चायुक्तस्य भावना न चाभावयत शान्तिर् अशान्तस्य कुतः सुखम् श्रद्धावल्लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् आचिरेणाधिगच्छति विहाय कामान् यः सर्वान् पुमांश्चरति निःस्पृहः निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः स शान्तिम् अधिगच्छति भोक्तारां यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपेति चाद्यम्. Okay, I'm going to read few verses translation only. The first one who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be happiness without peace? A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, she alone can attain real peace. A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. So, uh, the world that we live in right now, is there any peace? uh, Hard to say. And how can we achieve peace? Bhagavad Gita has the solution, along with other problems of this current world. And the Bhagavad Gita's principle is this verse, the 529 verse. Srila Prabhupada, our teacher, he calls this verse as the peace formula. So if you want to achieve peace, here is a formula for peace. How do we achieve it? We have to be fully conscious of Krishna and make him the ultimate beneficiary. The conflict exists because two countries or two societies or two people have have want want to have the same thing for themselves. If I have one book and then another person comes and says that this is mine, or if I say this is mine, there is only one book. Uh, but you know, it's a very crude and rude example. But the idea is that when there are everything that's God given, including the material world, the nature, the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, and the resources, the energy, and everything, the conflict arises because everybody wants to say that this is mine. Once the definition of what is mine and what I think is mine, who I am and what I think is mine, is changed, then there is real peace. Because we understand that Krishna is the owner, Krishna is the proprietor, he is the source of everything. So why not this temple? Every temple belongs to Krishna. Why not, you know, so many dollars, or so much money, or so much wealth? Everything belongs to Krishna. So it is not anymore for a devotee. It doesn't become anymore. Okay, I put my dollar or $2 or whatever donation in the hundi because so much of salary or whatever I got, but everything belongs to Krishna. And whatever I need, I take from it. There is no conflict because then everybody is happy with what they have. The reason is that there is too much greed. What is it said? There is not enough in this whole world for everyone's greed, but not want, something like that, or need. So if people are greedy, there's not enough. But if everybody is satisfied with what they have, there's more than enough. There is always enough. That's how God's arrangement is. So I would encourage everybody to kindly take up this systematic study of this Bhagavad Gita. Uh, and there are other things also, but we did take some time today to go through some of these difficulties or problems that we may be facing, to see how Bhagavad Gita addresses those and what kind of solutions we can derive from those. But again, regular study of Bhagavad Gita and implementing its principles is the key to overcoming those. So with that, what I would like to do is go back again and then do a couple of things towards this end of my presentation. Kindly bear with me as I try to scroll to the end. Oh, it may not work the way. Sorry. Okay, I may have to use this. I am sorry. I wish I had a better way of doing this. So, in the beginning, we started with discussing about this gentleman who came at the age of almost 70 years, surviving 3 heart attacks. And then this will be kind of the fitting end to talk about him again. And if I can only overcome the technological things. So here is a list of the solutions that we kind of put together. And before you go out of this room for prasadam, I would request you all to take one copy of each, and there is hopefully more than enough. But if you want, if you are in the same family, you can share. Hopefully, the idea is that kind of like put it on your refrigerator or something, and when you're feeling low or again alone or depressed or fearful or any of these things, uh, turn to the appropriate verse and hopefully you'll get some relief. So other than doing that, we're also trying to do something else. As uh, Chaitanya Kishore Prabhu mentioned, this month we are trying to give this book to as many people as possible. Just over the weekend, we have written and we have we got some requests from some of the uh, nursing homes around our Rogers Park area, and then they want some Bhagavad Gitas in their place. So we're going to donate those. So far we are at about 1900. Uh, the goal by January 4th is to do 3000. So what you could do hopefully is because you're all influential, maybe you can inspire them, talk to your friends, somehow or other sow the seed of Gita and help us to place these Bhagavad Gitas in little free libraries, motels, prisons, whichever place we want to, whichever place people want to have these books, they want to invite them. And more importantly, study Bhagavad Gita. We have, every Sunday afternoon, Paramatma Prabhu, he does Bhagavad Gita class right here in the temple before the Sunday feast program begins. And then Navin Krishna Prabhu also does also some both online and in-person classes. So please take advantage of those. If you want to register for those, the fee for those is nothing. It's free. so 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 we do these things free, and sometimes, okay, if it is free, maybe it's not valueless or worthless. But trust me, there is a lot of value in this. And more importantly, spread the word of Krishna. Krishna Sundar Prabhu, who is one of our congregation devotees, he took a box of Bhagavad Gitas, and then some of you can hopefully recognize where our temple is and around our temple. He took his bike, and this is last week, during the Christmas holidays, within the last 1 week. He took one Bhagavad Gita each and kept in some of these little free libraries. The idea is that people pick up this book, study for themselves, or read it, and then get benefit. All right, here is my concluding slide for today. Mr. Rubens says, he seemed to know that he would have temples filled up with devotees. He would look out and say, I'm not poor man, I'm rich. There are temples and books. They're existing, they're there, but the time is separating us from them. He always mentioned we and spoke about the one who sent him, his spiritual master. He did not know people at that time, but he said, I am never alone. So these are the words of a 70-year-old gentleman coming to New York in 1965 and trying to start a movement from nothing. So we can take some inspiration. One of the things that we're also trying to do is, along with this old building, we have an old elevator. It's 1962 when it was built. The elevator is needing some repairs. And when I read this, are you going to make the announcement or did I steal your thunder? Okay, he will also make an announcement. But when I read this, that's my thought. Okay, right now we are at 1900 Bhagavad Gitas. The 3000 mark is there within time. Uh, why? Why? Because I'm doing. Why? Because it's not because I'm doing it, or why? Because some of us want to give these books. because a pure devotee wants it, because Krishna wants it. So when we feel like that, it's possible that I'm just being an instrument in the hands of Krishna. Because the 3,000 books, Bhagavad Gita's, for Krishna, it's nothing. Or building an elevator, rebuilding a building, it's nothing. The reason we are in whatever circumstances we are, the reason whatever challenges we're facing is because Krishna wants us to take his shelter and go towards him. And all other things, including fighting the war for Arjuna, those are already done. The elevator is already repaired. But when we put our $5 or $50 or $5,000 or something, we are trying to be an instrument. When we try to donate for the books or any other cause at the temple, we're trying to be an instrument in doing that. So we welcome you humbly and beggingly to try to take this message of Bhagavad Gita and then implement in your lives to the extent possible and try to give it to others and also help us in giving it to others, because all our goal and motive is just so that we can give this to as many people as possible. So with that, I'd like to thank you all for your kind attention and time. As I said, next week will be better. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.